I'll seek you out, flay you alive.
The majority of initial settlers in Canada came from France. Many of these immigrants were fur trappers that moved to the Canadian wilderness to find freedom and increased economic opportunity. This trend continued from the 1600s up until the mid-1700s.
See you rise through you anyhow.
Following the defeat of French forces during the Seven Years' War, the character of immigration changed, as did the government with the formation of the Canadian government under the British Empire. The inflow of migrants shifted from France to Britain and Ireland. By the 1770s, there was an estimated 70,000 citizens residing in Canada. With the outbreak of the American Revolution, this number increased exponentially. Following the British defeat in the Revolutionary War, many Loyalists sought refuge in Canada. Even with a large influx of American Loyalists, the population of Canada remained relatively small and ethnically undiverse.
Shoveling the cars of your
Although a large portion of American Loyalists were freed African American slaves, this did not significantly increase the diversity in Canadian citizens. In the Canadian Constitution, the immigration policy was not well defined and mainly focused on public health concerns. In the 1870s, however, this would begin to change. According to the 1870-1871 census, Canada's total population was about 3.6 million. After the Native peoples, the largest two groups were the French and the British. During the 19th century, the movement of individuals or groups to Canada was largely unrestricted. In 1885, because of pressure from the nation's capital in British Columbia, an act was passed restricting Chinese immigration through the imposition of a head tax. This was the first of a series of such measures directed at the Chinese that continued into the late 1940s. Canada's immigration policy also encouraged the dispersal of immigrants across the country. In the decades following the resurgence of immigration after World War II, Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto received 66% of all immigrants entering Canada.
with grace.
At the height of World War II, my family decided it was time to migrate from Europe to Canada. My grandfather's great-grandmother, along with her daughter and 3 grandchildren, moved from England to just outside Toronto, Canada. Around the same time, my great-grandfather Donnie moved from Scotland. As fate would have it, about 10 years later, at the ages of 16 and 18, they would meet and eventually get married. They went on to have 3 children, including my grandfather. Here they are on their wedding day with their mothers, Laura and Bertha. On my grandmother's side, both immigrated from Scotland, also at a young age during World War II. They met, got married, and had 5 children, including my grandmother. For a long time, my family was content living in Canada. In fact, if it wasn't for one thing, we probably would still be living there. Except my grandmother. Well, she hated the cold. Because of this, they decided to move to California. In 1982, my grandparents and their 3 sons, including my father, made the 2,500-mile move from snowy Fort Erie, Ontario, Canada, to sunny Whittier, California. They lived in Whittier for about 4 years before moving 40 miles south to Moreno Valley, California, where my father would eventually meet my mother in late 1992 at the age of 19.
I'm gonna pick up the pieces and build a Lego house. If things go wrong, we can knock it down.
My mother, shown on the left, was only 14 at the time, and their relationship was very taboo. My grandparents did not want them to see each other, but they couldn't stay away. And about a year later, on March 29th, 1994, I was born.
And it's dark in a cold December, but I got you to keep me warm. If you're broken, I will mend you, and I keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on. Now I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm gonna paint you by numbers and color you in. If things go right, we can frame it and put you on a wall. And it's so hard to say it, but I've been it before. Now I'll surrender up my heart and swap it for yours. I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. Don't hold me down. I think the braces are breaking, and it's more than I can take. And it's dark in a cold December, but I got you to keep me warm. If you're broken, I will mend you, and I keep you sheltered from the storm that's raging on. Now I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of sight, I'm out of mind. I'll do it all for you in time. And out of all these things I've done, I think I love you better now. I'm out of touch, I'm out of love. I'll pick you up when you're getting down. And out of all these things I've done,
I was raised in Southern California until the age of 18, and I moved to New York City to attend St. John's University.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. So excuse me for getting.
Before I left for New York, however, I met a young lieutenant stationed at Fort Bliss.
See, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue.
As it turns out, we fell in love, and I ditched the Big Apple for El Paso, Texas.
What I really mean, your eyes are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is a song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is now you're in the world. If I was a sculptor, but then again no, or a girl who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is a song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is. Now you're in